First off, we got to do a little house cleaning. We want to thank our sponsors, Brian Curl Basketball. Curly, great program. Interestingly enough, we were just speaking to Michelle Timms about her academy.
Correct.
Which, by the way, the response to that podcast has been excellent.
It's just been, well, two things. For me personally, I was honoured to be able to have a chat with her.
But it's not always about you.
No, but secondly, anyone that has listened
will say you made it all about you.
No, I did not interrupt that much.
No. It was good. It was great. And thank you, Michelle.
She was awesome.
You gave us a real thrill. Also to Chris Weir at FIT Education. I saw Chris yesterday after doing the skills session for Brian Curl Academy. He would love to be a guest.
That's fantastic.
I said we will prompt you, Chris, because we're all about helping promote those that are involved in the game in every way, shape, and form. Also to Big Dog Sports, Ryan Stolberg. And I'll be seeing Ryan, and I'll be seeing you and all of our old Bullets who are going to be invited to the Bullets' new facility on Maryvale Street.
1st of April.
1st of April, which is my son's birthday, but that worked best for Lyndon Briefy. So
Lyndon organised a date.
We changed all that.
But I see Cal's coming in as well.
Cal Bruton, that'll be great, mate.
Yeah.
We can tell us all about how CJ's doing in Beijing.
Correct.
And that'll be great. That'll be great.
Yeah,
but anyway, back to Big Dog Sports. You need it out. We have a tremendous shortage of basketball courts. And you want one in your own yard, go and see Big Dog Sports, baby.
Yeah.
Big supporter, and we'll be seeing Ryan at the ex-Bullets or the past Bullets. Function.
Yeah.
In the Junction.
Looking forward to it.
All right, now, let's go shout-outs. Just read where Jesse Wagstaff has signed on for a 17th season.
That guy is incredible.
Isn't he?
Like his plus minus is nuts in the plus. His connection with...
Did you say nuts in the plus? Yeah. It's a good one. I'm gonna another T-shirt, Kyle.
But his connection with Bryce Cotton is special. When he comes on the floor, he and Bryce just have these little, rolls of these peg, or he steps and hits a three. They've got this little connection that, they don't even, you can tell they don't call it, they just know where each other are. It's special.
I want to give a shout out to Davo Hickey.
Oh, man, that guy
has impressed me. He's Rooster Cogburn of the NBL. He's got grit.
Oh.
He has no quit in him. Plays with great energy. Now, everybody, there's questioning about, he's not that bright. Well, bugger it, mate.
IQ. They're trying to say that it's Melbourne. I heard the commentators say that Melbourne wanted him to bring the ball up the floor. Well, that's pretty stupid because he kicked their ass.
Well, with and again, another shout out to Sam Froling, who's had a tremendous year, who's got an Achilles injury. I hope it's not a ruptured Achilles. I haven't been able to find out exactly what the extent, but either way, he will not be playing Sunday.
Right.
We don't know what's happening with Trey Kell III.
We've been sourcing every source that we have, and we cannot find out any information other than it may be a bone bruise.
Well, he had an impact injury on his knee.
Is that delayed concussion?
Similar. It's not a delayed impact injury. It's an impact injury.
Oh, it's an impact.
If I were a betting man, I would say even if he's playing with marbles in his shoe, he's going to be playing.
Okay.
I also now
Ulbrich.
I said Ulbrich. And we're going to do more about him in the recap of Game 4, which is on our agenda. We actually have an agenda today.
Thank you.
How about rumors and whispers? Can we pivot to rumors and whispers? Because there's a few.
I've never seen so many after a season, and it's like, some players have been spoken like, okay, Kendrick Davis from Adelaide. He's going to Sydney, he's going to Adelaide, he's going to Perth, he's going to Tassie.
He's in China.
Yeah.
And he's doing well in China, but I mean, I gotta say, it's a good payday.
Yeah.
They got a lot of teams. It's not good basketball.
Right.
Right. I mean, I got a story real briefly because we want to stay on big rumors and whispers. The opening game of the first grand final playoff, jump ball, Guangdong Tigers asked for a replay. So you have unlimited replays. And the two refs and the two coaches all get over and look at, and apparently they find this entertaining in China. It was the opening tip, and he was saying that the guy jumped too early.
No.
And I'm like, mate, this is hard to watch without being drunk. You know, it's a tough one.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. Plus, you know,
I actually saw some footage of Big Jaiwa. You know, Big was ever say, you know, from
Nathan Jawa.
Yeah, and it was you know,
Was he in China?
No. It was when he was playing in the NBL and the referee tossed it up and he goes, I'm not ready. And the referee kept tossing it up. There was just play on.
Oh.
But it was in China. It would have been pulled back.
I got two other quick ones, but then we got to have a little discussion about the third. We got Justin Tatum was fined $7,500 for misbehaving, for saying something that was most probably accurate, definitely true.
I think his point was about if Delhi was injured, the game would stop. But when
here's the thing: they give Goulding a warning. Now he got fined not from after this game, as I understand it was previous. Goulding, who by the way, Chris, I think any other player, he is prepared to go down.
Yeah.
And he got a warning for flopping.
Yeah.
Flops again. They warn him again.
Tech foul.
It's supposed to be a tech foul. But I think that's a real tough one to. I mean, when a real obvious flop occurs, that's a flop. When he gets hit, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think you got to go down and you got to show that you have been hit and make a scene. So the refs have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that it doesn't even warrant news. I think what Justin Tatum is doing is great for the NBL, great for Wollongong. He's passionate. He defends his players. He defends Wollongong Hawks, Illawara Hawks.
A bit like Roth on the island.
Yeah. You know, I mean...
And it gets the people behind them. Like, it gets their local community pumped.
They're pumped. I don't know if he needs to do that so much, but I think that's a storm in a teacup.
Do you think his son will be able to spot him the $7,500?
I think he can afford the $7,500, man. I think he'd be doing okay.
I don't think that Tatum has given two thoughts.
No, and I don't know why. If I could,
but guess what he's doing? And this is a smart play. He's taking all the heat, all the energy of the media is on him, not on. They're not talking about that Harvey didn't shoot that well in Game 4. They're not talking about that. They've got two players injured. It's all about
two
Tatum.
All-NBL players injured.
Yeah.
We assume, we know Sammy won't be able to go, and which breaks my heart, and my heart goes out to Sam and the entire Froling family. But on a positive note, Harry Froling has resumed his
2 points.
Yeah. You know, the man can score. And now, is he playing for Sam McKinnon's team?
Yes, he is.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we're really happy to see him back, and hopefully he makes his path back into the NBL. The New Zealand Breakers have been sold.
And there's speculation about for how much.
Well,
speculation from LK. That's my abbreviation for Larry Kesselman.
No, I think you read that wrong.
Okay.
I think he values his team, Melbourne United, at $35 million.
Oh, okay.
But
really,
who's
going to pay that? What about the Illawara owner?
Well, now this is the big whisper and a big rumor. Hawks owner Jared Novelly is seeking other owners to take over the NBL.
But LK, that's Larry Kesselman.
Yeah, Larry Kesselman has said it's not for sale. Now, here are the challenges. Let's say they just revolt and they they do a Captain Bligh, or was it who's the other one who was Bligh? Mutiny on the Bounty.
Oh.
Let's say they mutiny. They have to go through to get a new league started. You have to have it FIBA approved. I don't know if FIBA would jump in and say, hey, okay, well, we'll have 2 NBLs. It's not like Taiwan, mate, where they have 2 professional leagues of 7 teams. And I disagree that an owner of a team could own the league. And he has a taste of a few teams.
Yeah, and I guess, look, I have to also take my hat off to him because without him, we may not have had a league.
Well, we would not have had a league.
So it makes it interesting, I think, that he's involved. And, if he wasn't here, would we have played NBA teams? Are they talking about bringing NBA teams here? Like, next start, there's some things that he has done that I take my hat off to him.
Well, number one, saving the league.
Correct.
And now he's going to come in and he will he will save the WNBL. That thing needs a shot in the arm. Big time.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see a team here in Brisbane, women's team. And I'd love to see almighty Dwight Hicks and his hot licks lead that team. And we're going to have Dwight Hicks, who is the Premiership NBL 1 2023 champion coach of the Northside Wizards. I've known almighty Dwighty since he was a junior.
Yeah,
he's great.
John Paul College he went to, didn't he? You go to John Paul?
Before he went to Cock.
Okay.
I think he went to Christian Outreach College.
Oh, did he?
I don't know.
But I remember him as a junior bullet.
Yeah, he was a junior bullet.
And he could play.
He could play, but he started coaching. I first noticed he's good. He's really good when he was Mick Downer's assistant coach with the under-20s.
Oh, okay.
And he just moved on from there. And now he's got basketball headquarters out in Tingalpa.
Yeah.
And we want to really sit down and talk with him.
I'd love to. I'd love to go see his facility.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we can get that done. But
yeah, good guy.
now, okay, pivot. Hit the brakes. Let's recap Game 4. Where the Hawks now, every team, the visiting team has won every game.
I thought I heard them say on that coverage, and again, I've had a busy day at work today. Yeah.
Would you like to share that with the listeners?
Well, I just haven't done as much research as I'd like.
Oh, you're research poor. Okay.
I have, but not quite as in depth. But I heard that the last 7 games of the final series have been won by the away team. So
yeah.
So the last 3 of last season and the first 4 of this have been won by the away team. Now, what I'm spewing is why the Flying Fox, I didn't put some money on that, because you'd be one rich man.
Well, then again, you'd be betting on sports, and we'd have to report you to the podcast integrity unit.
Would YouTube kick us out?
Again. Which, by the way, come on, YouTube. What kind of a deal is that?
Oh, mate, I think it's because of our name that they don't understand that there's violations in a game of basketball.
And you insult a lot of people.
Okay.
Anyway, recapping the game, I thought this was all about Davo Hickey.
He was great, and he was great.
Is it Lachlan Ulbrich?
Yes.
What a brute.
Oh.
They're down there. Peatling contributed very well, too.
He's contributed the back half of the season really well.
He has, along with the Mackay boy. Blanchfield.
Big time.
Kids, when he was a junior, he was a rebounding beast.
Oh, really?
He rebounded like Dennis Rodman.
He got some good boards in that 4th game when they needed. When he came on, I mean, I take my hat off to him. I thought he was, at first half of the season, he had a few DNP.
I was reading, and then so those guys played tough. I mean, you can't expect Tyler Harvey to, get you 20 every, because they're locking in on him. They're defending him, like second skin. He plays smart, And if he gets the floater is beautiful.
The best.
Right? The best.
In this league.
And, he's a better than average 3-point shooter. He gets to the line, which when we talk about free throws, isn't it something else with Jack White and the white stripes? When he gets to the free throw line, he be getting the yips.
Yeah, and they've talked to him. I saw an interview post-game, or the third, maybe game 3, and he just said that, they set a play. He had 20 in game 3, I think.
Yeah, he was tough.
And he just said, it's in my head. But seriously, you see him, he changed his feet where the line, like most players, put their toes right up to the line. And when he was missing, he started to step back. You've got the yips.
I think I wouldn't worry about that aspect. I would bet anything of the Hawks if they're, in the butt, foul Jack White, because he's like Shaq.
I'd foul Jack White, and I would foul Lee. He's
another one.
Yeah, definitely. But now that without Froling, they really can't afford their bigs to get in foul trouble.
Well, now it's Ulbrich, Days, undersized.
Days stepped up.
He stepped up. He's undersized, but he's as strong as a house. Peatling a little bit. He defends. He's good, mate. Greta's. I think he's a better perimeter. He's a great denial defender.
Yeah.
Crawls up and in.
Yeah.
I like him. I can see the value with him. And I think this has come down. For the United, Goulding's always a threat. Always. And I think Ian Clark is going to have a special game. But I think Matthew Dellavedova,
man, what good.
He's strong. He's a bull. And his interior game is valuable because that's how you're going to get to the free throw line. Yeah. I think in this game, it's like every game that you and I have been involved in, winning the free throw attempt war
is important.
Critical. And I think Delly can do that because he's just, he's 6'4", he's got to be 200, 205. He's strong. And he's got a package. He's got a set of moves down there that most Rocco Zakarsky doesn't have. So, here's a rumor and whisper. Third party, I was talking to, can I drop a name?
Yeah.
Alan Westover. So we had our weekly chat. And he said that he had heard, can I drop a second name? Because this is how Chinese whispers start.
Is that Alan Westover of Pelova?
That's right. That Ian Stacker, the world championship coach, 2-time NBL coach of the year.
Bullets.
No. Ian Stacker, Townsville. Right?
Wow.
Twice. Lost the grand final to the Wollongong Hawks, Illawara Hawks.
Yeah.
But anyway, Stacker reckons that Rocco has got a $4 million NIL opportunity.
Wow.
So now if it's coming third person, it's got to be true.
Yeah, definitely.
I said, mate, that'd be the way to go.
I saw some footage of that. They had an Emus camp, the under-19s, and Rocco was looking good on the floor. But, I mean, he's obviously with his age group, so he'd want to be a man amongst boys when he's back.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if that holds water. And then how does that – because, Damian Martin's his agent.
Oh, wow.
Boy, I'm dropping some big ones, huh?
Is there anyone you don't know in basketball?
Well, there's a long list of those who hate me that I give a wide berth to. But
okay, I believe you.
Did they wear black and white shirts?
No. And by the way, Brad Gersh, in memory of I just read that today that he passed way too early, and Brad was a very highly respected referee. And our condolences to
his family,
and everybody who loved Brad. But anyway, so that's the recap. I think previewing this game, knowing that Frols is out, that's a lot. You lose a lot of productivity. Ulbrich, though, holds his own.
He gets up and down the floor, too.
He gets up and down the floor. I think you're going to have Day play a little bit, defending the 5. I think you're going to have Peatling defending the 5. Yeah. They just don't have another, not that I see on the bench or play.
No.
And then you got to hope that Kell is, close enough to be in, because he can still stroke.
Well, he's got that delayed bruise injury.
Yeah. but let's hope that he's right, just so that we can have a high volume game. And a lot of the viewers,
I mean, the games have been great.
The games have
I've
been
enjoyed
great.
everyone.
Great. They've been defensive slogs.
Yeah.
And they're, why isn't Gould? Because everybody's crawled up Chris Goulding's rear end. I mean, he doesn't get an open look. And earlier they had those kind of defensive breakdowns on switches.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. So let the other guy beat you, but don't let Chris get a wide open three.
And the other big thing is Illy's not playing.
Yeah, I guess for sure. I don't think it'd test him.
For sure, but that's a big loss to them for him not being in the team in the last game.
So how do you test if you've recovered from a delayed concussion? Do you smack him upside the head and see if you hear a rattle?
Well, I'm not certain. I've heard that it's about headaches and dizziness and stuff like that, and I'm positive I've got delayed concussion.
I am too.
And I think I got it from grade 8. It's just only come about now.
Yeah.
But look, I don't know the answer to that about concussion. I mean, it's a medical thing, and there's a lot of talk in sport today. It's normally not on the basketball court. It's normally American gridiron or rugby league or rugby union. It wouldn't be AFL. They're not quite as...
UFC, boxing.
Yeah.
They would definitely have it. But I got my guts telling me that we're going to see a big performance from Ian Clark.
It wasn't... He's been outstanding, and he was probably a little bit down on his game in Game 4.
Well, they're locking in.
Yeah.
The one thing, the guard, like I said, Dellavedova got anything he wanted when he backed him down. He's got a great package of up fakes. He finishes jump hooks, either hand.
He never gets blocked down there.
No, he's a big boy, mate. He's all of 6'4" and strong.
Yeah,
and then there's
smart.
talk about he's a free. I wouldn't let him go. They've got a package of guards that Delly, Clark, Goulding,
Flynn Cameron,
Illy.
Yeah.
They've got an embarrassment of riches in that backcourt.
There's a again, I apologise to the fans out there that I just didn't quite do my research. There's a young kid that's got some time for Melbourne that has hardly played.
That files it right down to a
Yeah, no,
point.
he's Kispert or something like that. He come on in a second. Can you look that up for me, producer? He's had some court time in Game 3 and 4.
Yeah, and he's done well. And the other guy, the guy that looks like the pool cleaner from a porno.
A pool? Can I just get that? A pool cleaner?
Yeah, from a porno movie.
A porno.
He's got the mo
That's
going.
an interesting...
Steven needs to do his research. His name starts, I think it's Coppin.
Yeah. I mean, he did good.
He did very well.
He's a big, but I just found that strange rotation. Like he hasn't...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And they had another guy that came in and he played productive, good size. Christ. Bowen.
Yeah.
Bowen. Make great mangoes.
Yeah.
Up that way in Bowen. All right, so
let's
who
get
you
back
picking?
to the game.
Who you picking for all those punters out there?
I tell you, well, I'm 0-4 in the picking, like in my betting competition with my mates.
Is Lyndon Briefies winning that?
He's winning it, but Stokesy Stokesy's now equal with Lyndon.
Wow.
Stokesy, who was founded the St. Peter's basketball program.
Richard Stokes.
Richard Stokes,
great
champion.
contributor to basketball.
He's just snuck up on undies in the ESPN betting thing that we're doing. But I'm 0-4 in the finals, and so's undies.
Does fourth win money?
No, it doesn't. And so I'm third, though, and I still don't win money. But, yeah. But to tell you, and not that our fans care too much, but Roger Smith and Mark Thompson are tied last.
Oh, no.
And in our betting comp, it's not about winning, it's about not coming last. Because if you come last, you have to pay for the winner's lunch. We go to a lunch. And,
that would be painful if it's Lyndon. What if there's a tie? They got to pay for both.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Not now, honey, Mark Thompson.
Yeah. We haven't hung on him for several. There were some people who thought he was going to.
He gave me complimentary honey.
Yeah.
By the name of, look for it, folks. Is that retail? Not now, honey.
It hasn't retailed. He sells it out on the front, outside of his letterbox.
With a lemonade around the corner where fudge is made.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right, so listen, this is going to be a brief one. We will be having a special guest in Rick Lawyer, who's been a huge contributor to basketball over 30 years.
Oh, more.
And really, he's still involved with the North Gold Coast Seahawks.
Yeah.
And we want to find out what's going on with them.
Yeah, hopefully he can share that with him. We had a few technical issues
we
with
had
him.
him all lined up, but then...
He's an artist, glass blower.
He's a glass blower. He is a very good artist. We want to help promote that. And
coached a lot of women's teams, Women Bullets, when they were here.
I think they were called the Brisbane
Blazers.
Blaze.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were sponsored
Sandy
by
Bondello was
Timothy.
in that team.
Yeah.
So there's some really good caliber.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and they were and then a lot of junior teams. He's a very, very well-respected coach. I think he came out in the same era, probably before Ronnie Ratliff.
Yeah, I think so. Just before
Scheibner and Brian Allen and Corey Munson, Bruce Bavard.
Oh, wow.
I know these names.
Yeah,
I am a historian.
You know people.
Well, I owe each of them money.
Yeah.
So if you're a betting man, who are you going to drop your money on? Why hasn't Ladbrokes been knocking on our door?
Since I'm 0-4, I'm coming from such a great result, but I'm going to go the Hawks, and my heart wants the Hawks to win.
Wow. My heart wants. I don't care really who wins.
Two great teams.
Personally, great teams. They put. For the year. I'm gonna. If I were having to bet, gun to my head, I think I'd go with United.
Okay.
I think the guard play is not going to be affected. Not that, mate. I just love
two great coaches too.
Great coaches.
And they're just two really. It's one of the best NBL series that I can recall.
It's right up there with last year's.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. But, with the whole, this is going to be an interesting thing to follow from the periphery, the mutiny. If Jared Novelty can get the other owners to, I just don't see it.
It's not going to happen.
I think Larry
will sell it when Larry wants to sell it.
I got an interesting story because we're just killing time now. I was in China at NBA China offices in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Can I drop some city names?
You're good at it. You tend to do it in most episodes.
And anyway, my colleague at NBA China, Greg Stolt, goes, I can't believe that this guy bought the entire league for $70 million. And I go, well, you're wrong, because he bought it for $7 million. And he's like, what? I mean, if anybody else would have been, any venture capitalist would have been right on that, because you see where the Boston Celtics have just sold for $6.1 billion. So, getting the entire league. But thank God for Larry.
Look, and I think he makes it interesting because, he's powerful in the game, in the world of basketball, and he does it with a smile on his face, and he doesn't actually speak a lot out publicly. He doesn't. It's a newspaper story or something.
Well, it's not about him, which I like.
Yeah, correct.
It's been for the good of basketball. Now, his brother was the team manager for the Alan Westover coached Melbourne Tigers. He may have been there when Lindsay was there. Okay. And I got to know his brother, not well enough to ever ask him his name, but then Larry, came in, and I guess he was a sponsor, Dodo, right? He owns Dodo, or if Dodo even exists anymore.
Larry does.
Larry was Dodo.
Oh, wow.
And, part of the deal, see, my thing with buying it, getting the databases of every registered player, in Australia, I thought, that sounds Doge, doesn't it? It sounds Elon Muskish. But I think, thank God for Larry, because this year, particularly, and you've mentioned it, over the holiday period, over Christmas,
That was great.
It was great. We're getting 3 games
Actually,
a
when
week.
it stopped and there wasn't a game on Monday or Tuesday night, I was missing it.
Me too.
And I think in Australia we used to have a lot of, when the Test match crickets used to be on. When I was a youth, they used to play international, like one day with the teams that were travelling. They'd have the team doing the test, like say England, and then Pakistan would come and there'd be 3. But it used to be night games, so it used to take a lot of our interest. But there's nothing. They have filled that void with the NBL games, and I have to tell you, I enjoyed it.
The NBL games, yeah, because cricket, I could,
Well, basketball. When I was a youth, mate,
a lot of people play cricket, mate.
It's the biggest game in the world.
And if you believe that, Santa will be coming down your chimney tonight. Well,
Okay, I think we
put a ball on it, put a finger on it.
and thank our fans and best we've seen. Listening to Michelle Timms. Thank you, guys.
It's been, yes. And don't forget, you can email us if you have any questions. We had somebody email trying to get his son on the podcast. We should probably start charging guests if they want to do that. But hey, email us at violationsandinsults@gmail.com. We can weather the abuse, but really any recommendations, any things that you want to point out, any corrections about Steve's lack of preparation, we'll take it on board. Also, last shout out to Brian Curl Basketball. Thank you, Brian. Christian Pang, Toby Curl, all the coaches that are involved in that. It's a great basketball program. To Chris Weir at FIT Education, who we will have on as I pinned him down. He gave us a great compliment about the Tims and Katrina Robertson.
Yeah.
So he said, sure, he'd love to do it because we want to be able to promote FIT Education, a great registered training organization, and of course to Ryan Stahlberg at Big Dog Sports. You want your court set up, get on to Big Dog. Stevie, we're going to wrap this. This is an addendum to our previous one that we did 2 days ago to encapture the excitement of whoever it is that does the courtside announcing, along with Derek and Andrew. Sound like he was with an erection and wet pants. Very excitable guy, but what a great, I'm very happy for the team that you picked, Wollongong.
Mate, like, this is the beauty of sport, that only people that play it, volunteer, turn up every day to watch it, understand that this is one of sports stories that'll go down in the annals of history forever and a day. This is a team that the start of last season was 0-6, sacked their coach, bring an assistant coach in, gets to the semifinals. Then the year later, with really ain't changing too much in he didn't change players. And then he wins a championship, leads them to first, wins it in game 5 on the home court when 4 games went against home court advantage. We are talking historical.
Yeah, I agree. And thinking that Sam, their captain and all NBL second team, Sam Froling, goes out with the Achilles, losing Kell in the same game. And they came back and won that.
Well, man, let's talk about a player that I adore is Dellavedova, and his actions handing that award to Will Hickey are legendary. Hickey didn't want to take it, but there was no way that Delhi was going to take that award.
Is
I mean, I have
Will
to put,
Hickey related to Davo Hickey?
yeah.
He is. Okay, so Will Hickey's Davo's what? Dad? Uncle?
Oh, Davo, sorry.
Davo! Come on,
Mate,
mate.
I mean, Larry, it was the Larry Senstock medal, and Larry got up, and there's five judges, and somehow for the series, I mean, it makes sense. Delhi was there in every game.
So who won it?
But
Davo?
like these people giving out awards, you've got to learn. You give it to the winning team, and that to all of Delhi's just what a
Hold on, because I'm
is.
confused, Steve. Did Delhi win the Larry Sunstock trophy, or did
Yeah, you obviously didn't. What I've been watching.
I couldn't handle the guy that I don't know what his name is, but my God, every time somebody scored a basket, the momentum's changed. Like I said, the guy's sitting in a high chair. He's too excitable. I mean, again, they had more commentating
Yeah,
than
I mean, I don't know
players
that guy's
on the
name. He's
court.
got a beard and he's a little excited, but
Very
um,
excited. So
I
who won?
mean, so
Delhi?
Larry comes up, and I love Larry, and it's a Larry Senstock, but he's not the only one that selects it. He said there's five of us that select this award for the series, and Matthew Dellavedova won. Well, you could see Delhi's eyes roll in embarrassment, having to get up on the stage and say thank you. But he said this award goes to Davo Hickey, and
Good on Delhi, and that
yeah,
that would have been the
and
right
Davo's
choice.
going no, 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 it's your award. And to Delhi's credit, he walks off the stage and makes Hickey accept the award, and all the Illawara players are telling him, mate, accept it. And that's just the character of Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah, it's classy, mate. And Delhi knows. I mean, I love Delhi too. I would not be looking to shop Delhi around. He's as good as
I'll
any
take him in
guard in
Brisbane.
this. But so yes, so would I. And look, um, their front line. So Clark is a stud. We know that Chris Goulding can catch on fire in a heartbeat. Cameron is good. Illy played well today for a guy that had sat out. I don't know what kind of
And then he got a head knock today as well.
got a head knock, but their guard play is elite. Their front line play ain't gonna cut it. They're gonna have to get more offensive productivity out of every one of their frontline players. What
Well,
do you
the
think?
young kid Albright, they just couldn't. If he got the ball in the right spot, he scored, and he missed a
Albert's
couple at point blank.
mate, as a team, Illawara, Wollongong. The thing that surprised me was starting Todd Blanchfield the start of the third. We've always talked about the start of the first 3 minutes of the third quarter are the most critical time of a game.
Yeah,
And they got Todd in Blanchfield in for Kell. Now we know that Kell he's got a dicey knee, but I'm like, wow. And as it
still has
turned out, it didn't
26
really hurt
points
him.
for the game.
Yeah, it didn't really hurt him, but maybe
Blanchfield was good, mate. Blanchfield's a reason that they made the final. He's the reason that they've been in the games. I take my hat off to him. I can't say I've ever gone, oh, hey, Todd Blanchfield, you're awesome. I've always respected him because he can play.
yeah,
But boy, oh boy, mate, the back half of this season, Todd Blanchfield, mate, take a bow.
very much so. He took a lot of time away from Lee, the Korean kid,
But
who
even Lee
still
came on
produced.
and did his job today.
Well, he's a tough nut, mate. And I tell you right about Lachlan Orbick, Albrick. Fuck, great footwork.
He may make the NBA, that kid.
He is rock solid, and obviously he has now I want to make a comparison. He's a little bit older than Rocco, and he also played collegiately. But
Yeah, man, he's good. I
man, his
mean,
improvement, he's
Swally Bullock did
great.
his job. I mean, that is just and they played D, but think about it. Game 4 was like a slugfest, and they played to win it. Like, what was it, 80-72 or
81 to
something? I don't know what it
70.
was. It was a low scoring game. These guys had 60 points at halftime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they brought their A game today on their home court. Could you imagine being in Wollongong tonight?
Well, I'd have to wear a protective helmet. Um,
Like the like
I'm
the
really happy for him. I
like
mean,
the
that's their
fan who's
second
been doing
championship.
it there since Dave Dodd, who wears the bullhorns.
Look at, I was just raving about the United Guards, but Davo and let's say Kel's a guard. Kel can play anywhere.
Yeah.
And Tyler Harvey. I mean, they clamped into Tyler Harvey. Davo's got some funky, unique moves. The shot fake as he's Euroing. I got to add that into my kids' repertoire. That's special. I don't see that a lot.
Yeah, but mate, how do you teach? I had my beautiful daughter here watching the game with me, and I said to her, I don't know how you teach what Hickey does. How do you teach to get every loose ball? How do you teach to be on the O glass when you're 6'5" up against 7-footers? How do you teach that?
Well, I tell you, he's very creative, and you'll love seeing it because I saw it today, something that I have not seen. Where you take that slow step, Euro step, shot fake, then take your extra step and lay it in.
Yeah.
That's a creative mind, and he's relentless. There's a few relentless players on there. Illy is relentless. Delhi is relentless. I'm not bagging the United, man. I just think they
Oh,
got
mate, United are
to
an
be better from
awesome
the free
team.
throw line. And when you got, and I'm watching, I'm thinking, man, Clark's a handful. Ian Clark's, that's
That guy could still play in the NBA, I think.
well, and they're not going to him. He made a comment at halftime about we got to stick to the game plan. Now, not that the other guys aren't capable, but who had the hot hand? Fuck, Ian Clark. So look, it's 2 times. I remember. Could I drop a name?
Yeah, you can.
Tommy Marr.
He's a
He was.
great
I was
man.
coaching
You
the
and
closing.
I, you and I, in the next 6 to 8 weeks, are going down to see Tommy and Timsy.
Yeah, well, I got an email from Timsy saying that I'm welcome. Uh,
Oh, I'm not.
you'll have to wait in the car. Anyway, Tom told me because they beat us all the time in all the grand finals, right? I lost grand final after grand final, and he said, Bruce, you should coach Australia. We'd be guaranteed a silver medal. This is right after he kicked my ass again. I found the humor in it. I mean, they were better.
Well, mate, there's nothing wrong with a silver medal.
Yeah, but running her up in the in a grand because I had that happen in
Can we
'88.
talk about you for a second?
Sure, sure.
Have you won a world championship?
Yes, I did. Yes, but let's don't make it about me. Let's make
Okay.
it about Melbourne United.
Oh, mate,
That's
great
back to
team.
back.
I got to take my hat off to Vicar, man. You just saw they put up he's won 50%. They've been in 6 out of the last 10 grand finals. That's a great program.
It is. It absolutely is. And let's wish them luck. They have a few minor adjustments. They need, I think, better productivity from everybody in the front court. The back court holds its own.
Yeah, mate. But how old's Lowe now? Is he 45?
I don't know. I don't know.
But he had retired. They brought him back. Lee's admirable. He's a winner, but they don't have a Sam Froling or a young Olbrich. Even though Bowen's, he's okay. They've got to find that
They
Jack
don't
White.
have a frontline guy. Jack can beat you straight to the rim and dunk it on you.
Yeah,
They don't have a guy
back-to-back
kind of
guy.
like our Australian team. We don't have a 4 that can create off the dribble.
I mean,
They
Albrook
don't have a
and
3 or a
Sam
4.
score at the front of the rim from backing a guy down.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
The only
hey,
guy that actually does that regularly for Melbourne is Delhi.
but Delhi's got the best low post package on the team.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's you the free
I
throw
just got
line.
to take my hat off to, like, I occasionally land some insults and stuff, but basketball in Australia, Larry Castleman, take a bow. I mean, seriously, mate, they are seriously putting a great competition together. They're getting interest from around the world. It's nothing that I ever thought I would ever see in my lifetime, and like they've the attendance numbers, the TV numbers, it's insane.
Right. It's great. It's just going to be interesting as observers to sit on the sideline and see where this goes. Obviously, his fellow owners are not, at least one fellow owner
Yeah, but
isn't wrapped with, there's no profit sharing.
mate, I don't know if you saw Eddie Maguire came to Larry's defense today.
Yeah, I read that. And I agree with what he had to say.
So do I.
I'm very thankful for Larry. But now we have a sustainable product, how is it going to sustain? You can't just count on owners.
And that's why rugby league keeps pushing the envelope to Vegas and next team and stuff, That's where AFL is limited. It's only got Australia. And Union is international, even though that's the struggling of the football codes. But basketball has finally, after all these years, started to cement itself. I think the next part of growing this beautiful game that we love, we need to have facilities in every single corner of this country. Because people want to play it in Darwin. They want to play it at Broomhead. They want to play it in, at every corner of this country. They want to play this game. And it's a great game if you like AFL or you want to play a footy sport. The transfer of skill, which is never discussed, is phenomenal to our football coach.
Sure is. And vice versa. I mentioned this in one of our previous podcasts, and I tell you what, we should be growing right along with the NBL. Violations and insults, baby, get on board.
Well, mate, I feel privileged. This is our first full season of the NBL, and I'm privileged to be able to have a conversation with you, who is just one of my mentors and teaching me a lot about the game, but also my very, very good friend. I feel lucky that we have some people following us, and yes, the name makes a bit people laugh, but I'm really enjoying our platform. I cannot believe the amount of people reaching out to us wanting to be on our podcast. So I feel very honored to be doing this with you. And you know what? We'll keep doing this in the off season. We'll find some, Parky wants to be on. There's lots of other.
Oh, we got to get Parky on. We're going to get Dwight Hicks and his hot licks.
Yeah.
Great coach, and doing great things with the Northside Wizards and Basketball HQ. Stevie, it's March Madness, baby.
We
got NC2A basketball, which that is just
love you, man.
Granted. And then we got our NBA finals. So we got a lot to cover. Can you give me a finger just so I can tie a bow? You got it. You got it. Man. Until next time.
Okay, bye.
Hey, baby.